That's not a photo. No telescope, no footage from a space agency, none of it. Every star you're looking at, I placed myself. With code. About 200,000 of them, all told. And getting here nearly broke the project more than once. So let me walk you through how you build a galaxy out of nothing but math. First question, why is this even hard? Well, if you just scatter stars at random, you don't get a galaxy. You get noise. It looks dead. A real galaxy has structure. A dense, bright core. Arms winding outward. Stars packed tight in the middle and thinning out toward the edge. And it isn't flat either. It's a three-dimensional cloud you could fly straight through. So I had 3 problems on my hands at once. The math, to make it look right. The performance, to handle hundreds of thousands of stars without everything grinding to a halt. And the art, to make it actually feel cinematic. Drop any one of them, and the whole illusion falls apart. My first instinct was to write one big script and be done. I stopped myself, because I don't just want a galaxy. I want black holes after this. Atoms. Fluids. A whole series. So I did what a film studio does. I built the departments first. A camera module. A lighting module. A rendering module. Reusable tools. The galaxy itself ends up being one small file that plugs into all of them. You don't hire a new camera crew for every movie. That one decision saved me over and over. Phase 1 was simple enough on paper. Just get a galaxy on the screen. 6,000 stars to start. And right away, a trap. 6,000 separate objects would bring Blender to its knees. So here's the first real trick. Every star shares the exact same little shape. One sphere reused thousands of times over. One material too, except each star gets to pick its own color. Then I hit render. Gray blobs. No glow, no color, nothing. My heart sank a little, honestly. Turned out I wasn't even looking at my galaxy. Blender has these viewport modes, and one of them just ignores glowing materials completely. So my stars were showing up as dull gray rocks. One click over to the right mode, and there it was. Blue stars, yellow stars, a glowing core. Tiny thing, that setting. But it's exactly the kind of thing that makes you think the whole project's broken when it's actually working fine. Then a real wall. An error. No module named config. I'd split my code into nice clean files, and inside Blender, it just couldn't find them. Here's the sneaky part. When you run a script from Blender's text editor, it doesn't reliably tell that script where it actually lives on disk. So my code was looking in the wrong folder and coming up empty. The fix was to make the script hunt for itself. Check a few likely spots. Confirm the folder really holds my files before trusting it. Boring bug, but a real one. Phase 2 was the fun part. Make it beautiful. A blazing core. A soft halo around it. Bloom, that dreamy glow that spreads off anything bright. And a real star field behind it instead of flat black nothing. One catch. I was building on a brand new version of Blender, bleeding edge, and things kept shifting under my feet. Bloom used to be a simple checkbox. In my version, they'd pulled it out and moved it into a completely different system. My code was calling something that no longer existed. So I taught the project to adapt. Check what this version actually supports. Use the new way if it's there, fall back to the old way if it isn't. And never, ever crash. Then I wanted gas clouds, nebulae, so I made these. Yeah, they look like a bag of marbles. Cheap. So I deleted them. Sometimes the best engineering call is throwing out your own work. Just the stars and the core look 10 times more real without them. I came back later and did the gas properly. A galaxy that just sits there is a screensaver. I wanted a shot, so I built a camera rig. Instead of hand animating a path, I put the camera on a turntable. One point spinning at the center. The camera rides along with it. Spin the point, and the camera orbits, perfectly smooth. I added depth of field, so the core stays sharp while the stars up front melt into soft blur. And I gave the motion some easing. Slow to start, slow to stop. Nothing kills the cinematic feel faster than a camera that moves like a robot. Now it gets serious. I wanted hundreds of thousands of stars, but every star was still its own separate object. Multiply that by 100,000, and Blender simply dies. So I rebuilt the whole thing. Instead of 100,000 objects, I made one. A single object. Every star is just a point inside it. I bake each star's color, size, and brightness right into the data. And the GPU draws all of them in one pass. Think of it this way. The old approach was 100,000 employees, each one needing a manager. The new approach is a single spreadsheet the GPU reads in an instant. Same galaxy. Except now it scales to millions. That's the moment it stopped being a toy. Let's talk about the shape itself, because I got it wrong at first. My early arms used simple, straightish math. They looked okay. Not great. Real galaxy arms follow a logarithmic spiral. The arm winds tight near the center and opens up gently as it goes out. It's the same curve you see in a hurricane. A nautilus shell, water going down a drain. Nature reuses this shape everywhere. The moment I switched to the real equation, the whole thing suddenly read as a galaxy. Two more details do a lot of the work. First, density. I don't spread the stars evenly. I take a random number and cube it, which crushes it down towards 0. So stars pile up in the core and thin out at the rim the way they actually do. Second, color. And star color comes from temperature. Hot young stars burn blue-white. Older ones cool off to yellow and orange. So the outer arms lean blue and the old core glows gold. Red giants? Only about 2% of them. They're rare in real life, so I made them rare here. Nobody consciously notices that, but your eye does. Then the film look. Bloom lets the bright stars bleed light. A subtle glare adds those little cross-shaped spikes you get through a real telescope. And here's a quiet one. The core is incredibly bright, and if you handle the color wrong, it just blows out to a white blob. So I use a filmic transform that rolls those highlights off gently and keeps the gold instead of clipping to white. Then a grade. Cool blue in the shadows, warm in the highlights. Cold, deep, cinematic. Almost done. And then Blender landed one last punch. I went to export a video, and the encoder just wasn't in my build. So instead of one compressed file, I render every frame as a perfect, lossless image and stitch them together at the end. Higher quality anyway. And if it crashes at frame 900, I haven't lost the first 800. Sometimes the bug pushes you onto the better path. Last big push, making it feel like you're actually inside it. A flat galaxy reads like a poster. So I added stars at every depth, a halo wrapping the disk, a huge, faint cloud of stars all around it. Now watch the camera move. Near stars rush past. Distant ones barely shift. That's parallax. It's the exact cue your eyes use to judge real space. And that gas I deleted earlier, it came back, done right this time. Thousands of tiny, dim, colored points that Bloom smears into a soft blue haze. Real atmosphere. No marbles. So here it is. 9 camera shots, cut together like a documentary. A slow reveal out of deep space. A dive through one of the arms. A pass close enough to almost touch the stars. And a final pull back to take in the whole thing. Look closely. The core isn't white, it's gold. The arms lean blue. Dust drifts between them. The bright stars flicker just slightly. None of that is an accident. Every piece of it was a decision. So what did this actually teach me? Build your tools first. Delete bad work quickly. On bleeding-edge software, write code that bends instead of snapping. And realism isn't one big feature. It's 100 small ones stacked on top of each other. Density, temperature, parallax, momentum. Every star here started as a single number, a bit of math. And somehow it turned into this. But a galaxy is calm, predictable. Next, I want to build something that isn't. Next, I'm going after a black hole, from scratch. Bending light, warping space. The hardest thing in the sky. If you want to find out whether that's even possible, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one.